You might be wondering, like as I said, I'm an actor, aspiring. You might be wondering, what's an actor got to do on life advices on TED Talks? Like if I were you, I'd be thinking, hi, here comes another girl with a little bit of Instagram following. Kaveen giving his nyans on life. Don't worry, rest assured. I know you're just out of lunch. You'll be drowsy. Not gonna give you any life advices. Just here to share a small story, a very small story of an average girl with a very, very average background who's made her way to TEDx today. So, as I said, average girl, average background, average loosely translates to tragedy, at least here in India. When you come from a normal background or, middle class background, it loosely translates to you have a lot of tragedy in your life. So, my tragedy too began even before I was born. So, my mom and dad decided to get separated before I was born. So that put a lot of pressure on me. Most of the times, I had to fight with mom and fight along with mom. So when I was 3 years old, my mom decided to put me into Bharatanatyam classes because that was her dream. She never got to learn Bharatanatyam properly, so she always wanted to put me into Bharatanatyam classes. She put me into those classes. And from the childhood till I think as long as I can remember, me and my mom had very unique set of conversations. Like, we had three sentences that my mom spoke to me on a daily basis. Khana ho kya? You ate food? Did your homework? Go to sleep on time. So these are the three sentences my mom used to be talking to me all my life. So this is happening. I was into dancing. So since I didn't have a lot of people to communicate to, I didn't know to make a lot of friends in college or school. So dance somehow became my way of expression. I started expressing through dance. I started becoming friends with dance, and everything was nice until one day happened. I got my puberty. So you know what happens in South Indian families when a girl hits puberty? You're ripped off all her talents, all her freedom, but not so many other things. So my mom on that day when I got my puberty told me, you know what? You're not dancing again. I'm like, what? Yes, you're not dancing again because it will cause harm to the culture of the family. I was like, okay. I didn't have much to talk. I was what, 12, 13? I said, okay. She took me along with her, took my dance ka costumes and the pile, the dance ka pile, Bharatanatyam ka pile, if you'd seen that, it's called Salanga in Tamil. I don't know how many of you all know that. So she took me along with all those things. She went to my dance class, gave it to the teacher, made me tell I won't be coming to the classes again. But somehow, me being me, I was very mischievous. So I was dancing secretly without her knowing. I'll be taking part in all my school dance competitions and everything. And that kept going. When I was in my 10th standard, I am knowing of this reality show that's going to be happening in one of the very prominent channels of Tamil. So I came to know that the auditions were happening in Coimbatore where I was living. So I said I had special class. I packed my costumes. I made my friend rent few costumes, give it to me. I packed them. I went. I performed. I too wanted to chumma go perform. Chumma means simply wanted to go perform. But fortunately, I got selected. Now that was the biggest thing. I had to come tell mom that I am selected, and then I have to go to Chennai for the next round. That was a whole big task. I thought that was the whole big task. Is that is how much I knew. For me, convincing my family was the biggest thing. So I convinced her and she was like, okay, you do whatever you want. At that point, she thought, okay, she only knows Bharatanatyam. She might not make it to the, bigger levels of it. She was correct. I went there. I did third round, fourth round. One thing that I learned from there is that Bharatanatyam is not dance all about. I didn't know how to talk. I didn't know how to dress up. I didn't know how to groom myself. I didn't know how to carry myself in a television show. So many things happened. Everybody around me were from, a very sophisticated background. They knew how to dress up. They knew how to do other styles of dance other than Bharatanatyam. So they took over me and my confidence. I was humiliated very badly. I was pushed to a stage where I felt for a second that I should never ever come in front of camera ever in my life again. This happened, but something in me after being in front of television and camera told me that, gave me a feeling that I never had before in my life. I was only 14. I had the sense of belonging. I felt I belonged there. So from then I started working on not just my looks, not just my talent, but also my mindset. You know what? People will come, rip you of your confidence, but you are not supposed to give up on your confidence. It's something I learned. Little did I know there are going to be more rippers out there ripping me from left, right, and center, not just of my confidence, but of my own existence. This happened, and I was doing little modeling, small brand ads, and everything. And I'm going to my college. And this is a time where the fight in the family gets very big. And my mom tells me, you have to choose if you need me or cinema. You know, what would you have said if that was your question? Anything? Something? I can't hear you. Yeah. Yes, that would have been the answer for a proper daughter. But me being me, I said cinema. She shooed me out of the house. I came out of the house. The income that I was earning, thousands and 2000s and 500s, my first salary was 500 rupees. It was barely enough to feed me, barely enough to pay my rent, take care of myself. It that there are many days, if I would say, like the longest I knew till date was I've gone 5 days, 5 full days without a single grain of food. I was too stubborn to ask my mom because, she didn't encourage me, she didn't support me. Why should I take her support? All this was happening. I finished both my degrees. I did my commerce, I did my fashion designing, all while doing this. Then one fine day, I decided to go on a trip with my friends. Me, who gave up everything, including family, for cinema, for media, a big thing happened to me that I fell down on my face. I broke my entire face. Like my entire face was broken. I had 27 cracks on my face alone. So all that had to be reconstructed. I didn't have the money. I borrowed it from my friends. I somehow paid. No. I borrowed it from my friends. I got my surgery done. 3 months from then, I had to get another surgery. 6 months from then, I had to get another surgery because it was not something that can be corrected in one surgery. It was a huge thing. So after 1 year, I again come back. I did my first pageant, Queen of Madras. I won the pageant. After that, I thought, oh, that's great. I won the pageant. Now everything is going to be all roses and red because, I won the pageant. I'm a pageant winner. What not can I have? I have everything. And I did have everything for a brief period. I got my first film offer as a heroine, pairing opposite to one of the biggest heroes at that time in Malayalam, Shane Nigam. So after 7 years of failing and struggling, I finally get this movie. And when all this was happening, mom became very understanding about my passion, my need to be in this. And she started becoming supportive. It was 8 months, 8 exact months that my mom and me had proper conversations in my entire life till late. I'll tell you that. So 8 months, we used to talk every day. Like we started talking as if we were like best friends. Mom used to call me at 8 p.m. after her work. We used to talk till 1:30 over the phone. Like the phone gets automatically cut thrice. In spite of that, we used to talk. I was very happy, man. I thought I got everything I wanted. I thought everything is here. Nothing can ever go wrong. I go to my shoot. Third day of my shoot, I'm getting a call that my mom had brain stroke. And saving her was very tough. Third day of shoot, I come back. I take care of her. And I had a great team. My first film was a great team. They supported me. They stood by me. And they helped me with everything. I finished that. And I realized my mom, who was a singer till then, lost her speech. She became mute. She lost her mental ability. Little did I know that 8 months of that talk is all that I'll have with my mom for my lifetime. I thought, okay, fine. I'll at least now to provide for what I need to earn. I finished that film. I thought the film will release. When it releases, my life will change. My career will change. So all these while, my grandmother was taking care of my mom. And this was going on. Certainly, all of us had a very bad time, like a couple of years back. COVID happened. My film didn't get released. I was already having so much debt because of my surgery, my mom's surgery, and all this was going on. Now, lockdown. Okay, I wanted to still not give up, fight, and all those. Then I did fight, only to suddenly hear that my grandma passed away. So I had to bring my mom to Chennai. I was running around. How will I take care of her? I did something, I did take care of her. And last year, May 17th, 2023, she left me. I tried all that I could possibly do to be a better daughter, to be a better actor, to be a better person, to prove to her. You might ask, why should I be a better actor to my mom? To prove to her, to give her confidence. I tried all that. In spite of me tried and trying and trying, every step I took, every hurdle that came in front of me only kept growing bigger and bigger. No, not to forget all the heartbreaks that I had in between all these things. Everything kept crippling me. My mom left in May 17th, 2023. I'm shooting for something on July. A camera fell on my face while shooting. Again, already damaged face, got damaged once more. I had a huge crack near my nose. I had to get that sorted. And I come back. I got dengue. I was down for 1.5 months. Again, I come back. Something or the other kept happening. And suddenly one day I'm receiving a call from one of my family member telling my dad is passed. I was so furious. I was so furious because nothing of him I knew until that day. Until that day, I didn't know how that man looked, how that man was, anything. I didn't know anything of them. He didn't reach out to me. He didn't reach out to my mom. Why should I know of his death? I never thought that he hurt me, but it did hurt me. I was 27 years old. I lost both my parents. I don't have savings. I don't have any business. I don't have anything to call as my own or anybody to call as my own. Then I realized no matter what, even if you have the best payouts in the world, best wealth with you, you can only have you at the end of the day. If you don't have you, nobody will have you, right? You have to stand up for yourself. You have to be there for yourself. So after all of this story, right now I'm here. I'm waiting for the next release of my movie. I had 2-3 releases before also. I just want to tell you 3 things that I learned from my life. First thing, have blind faith in yourself. No matter what anybody tells, be it your parent, be it your teacher, be it your sibling, be it your boyfriend, girlfriend, friend, anybody, trust in yourself. Something inside you will keep telling you to go forward, push yourself forward. Trust their voice, go forward, push yourself forward. Someday there'll be light. It showed for me. It showed for me. Okay? So you might think, it showed light to you, then why are you still sad? Lights are switched on only till the switch is on. So the moment I thought, okay, everything is nice, everything is fun, now it's all right, it'll go off. Your hard work doesn't mean it's only till the place you reach. If you want to live the life of your dreams, you have to work every day. Second rule, work every day for your dreams. The more you work, the more your dreams will be yours. Third thing, the most important thing that I learned, nobody ever is bigger than you and nobody ever is smaller than you. In your life journey, after this college, you might come across a lot of people where you think, okay, to him I can talk anything. To him I can tell anything. To her I can talk anything. She's going to be there. That's what I thought about my mom. She's going to be there. It's not mom after all. No, nobody is smaller than you. Anything that's given can always be taken, right? And nobody is bigger than you. There's no necessity that you should fear someone. You can have respect for a lot of people. You can have respect for a number of people. But there's utterly no necessity that you have to fear somebody. Nobody is bigger than you. Nobody is smaller than you. And thank you again for the opportunity, for letting me be here, tell my story. I hope I made justice to the time that you gave me. Thank you so much.